to begin a journey. So I remember, you know, just growing up, finances was always a thing that was never talked about, or a thing that it was just a thing. Like, you had some money or you didn't have no money. It was never taught to where, like, how can I take the little money I have, save some, spend some, and invest some. It was never taught that in that order, right? It was never. It was always get it and spend it. And so as we grow up, this is what we feel like we need to just get some money and spend some money. And then it come a point in your life where you start thinking like, okay, I need to save some money. But in order to save correctly, you got to know how to prioritize your spending, or track your spending. I call it track your spending. And it's something that I came up with for myself some years ago. And it was a hardcore thing to do, because I didn't do it. I did it with a pen and paper. You know, that's how I did it. I didn't do it with some software. Now they have software for this stuff, but when I did it, it was just writing it down, and it was brutal because I had to write down everything that I spent. I went even from like a quarter. I didn't care. I'm writing that down too. But not to get off track, but so that's the where I'm at now, is tracking my spending, and that's how you're gonna know if you can save, or how much you can save, and then you'll know how much you can invest to make more money. Right? So that's the journey that I'm on now, is to teach. So in another way, is our credit is power. A lot of times people say, well, I'd rather pay cash for something. Why would I go, get credit to get good credit to get in debt? And so people have all these different, ideas of what credit should be and why you should or shouldn't have it. But the moral of the story is you need to have good credit, because it's your financial history. It's how you spending your money. It's how you control your spending. You're going to have, listen, if you want something in life, you gotta have a good spending habit. If you want a house, or if you want a nice car, you want to finance your kids a car one day, or if or if you want them to have a nice apartment, you want to help them start off, or maybe give them a house when they first leave the home. It's gonna be the result of your spending, like of your financial literacy. If you don't have that, meaning it should start with your credit, because credit is the first form of you tracking your spending. So in order to have good credit, you got to know how much money you spend and how much money you have to spend. So that's why it's important to have good credit. To me, you don't have to use it, just have it. Just have it in case of an emergency. It's like that emergency cash. Like my mother's always tell us to at least, back in the day we were young, so she would say at least have you a 20 tucked somewhere in your wallet. And now you want to have a couple thousand tucked somewhere. At least 6 months of your expenses, because if something happened, you got 6 months to recover. And normally you should be able to recover if you follow the steps that I set forth for you. So to go back a little bit, back in November, I sat down and I told myself, because we move a lot, and I'm always starting some business over, or some endeavor, and all my endeavors pay out. I don't, everything I do I make money off of. But I said, what can I do for the rest of my life, even if I don't make any money? And I had to sit down and really have a heart-to-heart with myself, because I'm at a point in my life where I've made money and I blew it, I've lost it, and so now it's like, okay, what can I use that I've done for so long to help someone else? And what was my fears, and what was the reason why I was losing my money when I was making it, or I just didn't do right by it. And all I could think of was financial advisor or financial literacy. So I went on a search. I found two companies that's allow me to learn at my pace and to become the financial advisor or planner at a pace that's good for me. So I started studying. It took me 3 times to pass that test. But listen, and the reason why, because COVID hit, and I just kind of forgot some of the things that I studied. So I had to go back and study and pass it. When I did pass it, I passed it with flying colors. But I'm telling you this because it was a thing for me. It was a challenge for me because I always thought, you had to be very smart to be a financial planner. I always thought you got to be, super intelligent. You got to, have these degrees and, or otherwise you're not going to get that, get in the field. And it probably was like that when I was growing up, but now it's not so. And so I faced a fear that I had by just diving into it. Like I didn't really know, how the training was going to be. And it's still, I'm still training, even though I'm licensed, but I'm still training. I train every day. And so now that I'm training, for this, on this journey of mine, like I love it, man. Like it's like the best thing that ever happened to me because I'm challenging myself daily, getting out of my comfort zone. And I never have a problem talking to people or just conversating with people. I never had that problem. But the problem I do have is talking about finances with people because you have to be brutally honest with them in order for them to catch what I'm saying or catch up to where they need to be. Because a lot of people feel, finances, it's like, it's like the plague. You know what I mean? Nobody want to talk about that. It's like, no. The first thing they'll tell you is no when it comes to their finances. But you reached out, so evidently you want to know how to. And that's one of the jobs that I'm embarking on right now is just being brutally honest with people in a positive way. Because if I'm honest with you and tell you that the system that you have now is good or not good for you, it's going to help you. And so. And I tell people all the time, you got to fall in love with the process because if you don't fall in love with the process, then you're never going to see the success. Like you will never progress and you'll never see the success in whatever you're doing. And so most of my clients, when I tell them this, and this when they start to understand, like, okay, it is a process. It's a step by step. And I'm going to be here with you every step of the way. But if I come in your home and I just throw stuff at you and say, oh, this is it, and that's that. Of course you're going to not going to talk with me or not going to spend some time with me. But in the scheme of things, I sit back and I observe a lot, and I've got this for being in the streets and for being in the barber shop. Being in a barber shop, being in that environment for most of my adult life is. We learn how to observe. You learn how to read people and understand how people feel when you say certain things. And that's one of the things that I've just learned. And I'm really good at it, And even when I step in the room, I can tell when something is it's off. And so everybody's feel comfortable in that type of setting. If you come in the room and everything is like off now, you're like, okay. This conversation is not what I need to hear, and let me get out of here. You know what I mean? Or so, what I'm saying is, a lot of times when you're telling someone something that you're trying to do or what you're going to do or that you're planning on doing, and you don't get the response that you're looking for, like don't worry about that. Like you keep doing what you got to do. And sometimes you just talk to yourself. Like I don't really need no one to talk to about what I want to do, but it feels good when you can. But if I don't, I'll just talk to myself and talk it out loud, as if someone was there. My aunt told me to do that a long time ago, and I started doing it. And I thank her for that. Auntie Deborah, I love you for that because it helps. Like it helps you understand your thought pattern, your thought process, and how to put it together so you can move forward in whatever you're doing. And so sometimes you could just be your own muse, be your own, pat yourself on it, but be your own helping hand. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with you pushing yourself to that max, and you got it in you, because right when you about to give in, like your mind telling you to stop, but physically you feel like you can still go, but your mind telling you to stop. You got to break that governor, like get rid of it and keep pushing, because if you don't, that's when like you shorten yourself right at your great point. That's the greatness within you is trying to overcome the fear. But we allow our fear to overcome our greatness, and that's why we always stop at that point. Just like when you study and you're like, man, I can't, you get frustrated, versus taking the step away, you want to just stop altogether. Like, you can't do that. Take a breather, come back to it, and keep going, because that's how you're going to break the governor, and that's how you're going to break that chain of resistance, and then you're going to keep on pushing yourself to the next level. Now, I know I went over a lot of different things in this call right here, but I just figured I had to share something with you about being in the financial world right now, and I think this is where we at. And with you see all these things about Bitcoin, trade, forex, and stocks going up and down, and I think that we need to be a part of all of that. Life insurance, it does matter. We need to be a part of that. Credit repair, it does matter. We need to be a part of that. And so facing your fears and talking about these type of things that can help catapult your life, and leave a legacy behind for your children. We always talk about leaving a legacy behind with money. Well, why not leave a legacy behind with how to keep money and how to make money, and how to face fears, how to overcome. But that's where I'm at, with my family, my immediate family, and whoever answer one of my my posts, or whoever calls me. Every person that talk to me about credit, you're going to get more than that from me. You talk to me about life insurance, you're going to get more than that from me. If you talk to me about financial planning, you're going to get more than that from me, because, and even when I'm being a chef, when I'm cooking, and my customers come up to, they're going to get more than just a sandwich or a dinner plate. You're going to get more, because I feel like we have to add value to everybody we come across. And if we don't do that, we're doing a disservice to them and ourselves, because our story should help someone's life become better. And if we don't do that on a continuous basis, we will not become better, because you learn when you teach, or you learn when you speak. And my cousin said the other day, I was talking to her, iron sharpens iron, so you always want to be sharp. And the only way you're going to get sharper if you regurgitate what you learn. And it's amazing how our mind works, that we only retain 70% of what we learn, but we can retain 80 or 90 if we talk about it with someone. All right? That's all I got for right now. And one day I'll be back at it again, and hopefully I can continue speaking on this topic, because financial literacy is everything for me right now, and it always has been, but now it's at a point where I'm actually implementing the things that I've always was afraid of. And versus me saving money in my shoebox, I save it in the stock market. I save it on the forex exchange market. It's investments for me. It's not really so much having to stir it up in the shoebox. And I do have a bank account, but I tell you, it's not about saving the money. It's about keeping my money, having it work for me, so I don't have to work as hard. And this is my first year at it, y'all. So don't, I'm not there yet. I'm still learning. I'm gonna fail forward on this thing. But I'll keep you posted and keep you on, in on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But this video here was only just a message, just to tell you, find something that's within you that you've been doing, and tell yourself, you gotta really soul search and say, I'm willing to do this for the rest of my life, even if I don't make money. Because at that point, you'll give it your all. It's become passion. Passion becomes, work. It becomes action. And when it's action, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. And that's where I'm at. I'm up at 6:30 every morning, and then I'm on the phones. I'm in meetings all day, Then I go work at Lowe's at night. And in the process, in the middle of all that, I'm with my daughter teaching her schoolwork too, because she's homeschooled 3 days out of a week. So it can be done. Listen, it's hard work, it's dedication, it's it's tenacity. You got to have. If you don't have it, you can get it. You just got to start. Just get up and start. Just go. I tell you, it's amazing, and it's a journey that we all should be on, because we can push ourselves to our greatness. And if we really love ourselves like we say we do, if we truly love it, if you say I love myself, and then so if you love yourself, you would do whatever it takes to make yourself, feel loved by you. You know what I mean? So, and you will do these things in your life to catapult you to a better person, in areas that you were afraid of. So facing your fears and doing the things that you need to do to get to that next level financially,